Welcome to another week of Trix Fix. This week we are going over cheat steps, Vanish steps, K steps, those types of things. I'm going to be talking about knee drive, I'm going to be talking about what you do with your arms, how to land the trick, how to get extra height, how to get extra torque, and the spin, how it should be done out of anything, all sorts of stuff. So, and also make sure that you share this video with someone who needs help with their cheat kicks. There are people I've seen that need help with cheat kicks, so share that with them. Make sure you comment if you for the next video that I'm going to do, so that I can help you guys more. I'm going to show you how I do a tornado kick. Okay. Hopefully that was all in the camera. But we're focusing on the cheat step right now. It all applies to all of them. All of them are the same, up until 10 at least, because I've never done a 12. But basically, things to focus on. I square my hips this way if I'm kicking this way at the camera. The reason is because it allows me to turn my hips exactly over the top so that you can get maximum hip drive, so you can build power. If you start here, take your step is significantly smaller, probably half as big. So this way you can take a big step and get their charge up. Next thing is going to be that knee drive. So we're going from the bottom up. So we start here, we take our step, this knee drive, you want to start here so that you can drive it all the way around, because that allows the same thing like the hip turn, it allows more time to create momentum, because you can only create momentum off the floor. So once you're in the air, you just have to use what you have. You can't push off anything. So that's where you get all your power from, is the ground. Next is going to be the takeoff, and that is generated with the right foot, so, or your cheat stepping foot. So I start here, I take my step, and think about how your weight is distributed. So your weight is initially on your right foot or your cheat stepping foot. You're leaning forward. As you start to lean back, putting your weight onto your left foot, then when you're switching feet, think about it like this. If your weight is here in this point in the floor and you're switching feet, you want this foot to go right where that foot is, or just a little in front. So, because if you put it somewhere else, you know, your weight's not over there. It's very simple in that concept. So that's how you get maximum height, is by putting your weight into the point where you're putting your weight. So, for example, when you're coming here, okay, when I do snappers and stuff, I actually replace my foot. So I'll do just a snapper set. So how that foot takes its place. Otherwise, if I'm doing a cheat kick and I want to stay vertical, then I actually block. So the idea of a block is, the best way to explain this is with a front foot. So if you're running in a front foot and you jump, you actually want some distance. So now you're hurtling forwards, and then you stop yourself by leaning back slightly and punching the floor, and the forward momentum cancels with the leaning back and it causes you to go up. Same thing applies in the cheat step. So when you're moving this way, you actually want to take, when you take that step forward for the vertical ones, you're going to go here and push almost away so that you go up. I'll do a cheat 9 so you can see that. Arms are a lot of personal preference, but there is a few things that you have to do. So when you're doing cheat 9, that's where the arms are most important for the twisting. So when you're coming around, okay, you got that block, you got the knee lift, and you jump probably when your knee is pointing right at your target. What my arms do, my right arm twists in, my left arm goes up. The reason that my left arm goes up is because if I don't put it up, I tend to lean to the left really hard. So then I tend to fall. So if you have that problem, maybe you should give the right arm up, or the left arm up, a try. Whatever way you're twisting, that arm goes up. So I'll do a slow-mo of the cheat 9 so you can see what my arm does. But for example, when I'm going here, go up, my arm does this. It acts as a set, while this one acts as a twist. And then it also is almost pulling this way so that it keeps me squared up. Another thing you can do is, if you don't have a problem with the tilting, is bring your arms in like this. So whatever is the most comfortable twisting position for you, just make sure that they're actually pulling around. Another thing is, if you are also tilting, your elbows might be down. So another thing you can do is have your elbows up. That is helpful in swing 9 for me. In swing 9, I do this because that keeps me vertical. So you just have to play with the different arm things. Know that there is no one way to do the arms. Just figure out what's comfortable and make sure you're actually using them. It's like, you know, half your limbs, so kind of important. Next thing is the spotting. Spotting is really simple, but I feel like a lot of people don't do it, and it causes for landing short, or maybe over cheating, or jumping too late, all these small things that end up adding up. If you do have a small issue in, say, your tornado kick, it's gonna bother you in your 9. You're not ever gonna be able to hit the 12. All these things are gonna add up. The higher level tricks that you do, those small little issues in the easy kicks are gonna come back to haunt you and prevent you from landing the tricks you want. So make sure that you get all the kinks out of the simple ones, so that when you do the hard ones, it makes a lot of sense. So with the spotting, I take my cheat step, raise my knee, and I jump when my knee is pointing at my target, so that for a cheat 9, I will do a full 360. I'm here, switch feet, kick. My spotting point is here both times. So, spot, spot. I'm not looking at anything behind me while I'm spinning. I'm just looking for my target the whole time. So, boom. I want to see it before I get there so that I'm prepared for the landing. You need to anticipate it, but you also need to see it before you get there. It's also more aesthetic if you are catching up. So, I see you, I start to unwind, boom. Really quickly, do a K-step 9. Okay, basically, what I see people do wrong in this is that they over cheat. So the K-step is not meant for over cheating. I think that's what they think, is it's a way that you over cheat your trick so it makes it easier. What it actually is doing is it's a double step on your left foot so that you get maximum power. So when you start this way and you turn over for your step, all your power is generated from the one step. But when you're doing a K-step, you're generating your power from like a hurdle, like in the front flip. So you're getting more speed to play with, and you're also you're slowing down your acceleration, but you're retaining your momentum. So when you do your big step here, you're putting all that weight on one foot, versus when you do the K-step, you're sharing the weight. So you're able to transfer and conserve more energy during it, so then you get maximum height. So just because you're doing the K-step doesn't mean you shouldn't spot at the same point and shouldn't take off at the same point. You should. But you do tend to get higher. And another thing is, when you're doing those cheat 9s, out of K-step, you will have extra height. Don't hold back the height because you want to land at a certain point. If you get maximum height, you should still be able to snap out your kick and then fall the rest of your way. So use all the height you can, because the more you do that and the more you get that extra height, the easier the harder tricks, the harder kicks, and all the other things that come out of cheat steps, they're going to be easier when you use that extra height, so don't hold back. All right, final thing I'm going over is the Vanish. One trick, I shared it with a few people in person, and they were really surprised. They were like, I never thought of it that way, you know, and they tried it a few times and it made it a lot easier, and I use it all the time to get some weird vanishes. Like, I love to do like G-switch Vanish 9 and weird stuff like that, B-twist Vanish 9, but people have a hard time with it because they can't get that block. Because when you just do a normal cheat step, it's easy. You don't have a lot of momentum, you're just using what you can generate from the floor. But when you're doing it from one trick to another trick, which is what a Vanish is when you're going from one trick and vanishing into a 9. You're doing a cheat step mid, like that's your movement in between. Your can't think of the word. transition. So when you're doing that, the trick is to do a round kick. So it makes sense to do tornado Vanish 9. A lot of people can do that. They start with that pretty early. So when you're doing B-twist Vanish 9, if you're having trouble with it, it's because you're landing B-twist incomplete, and then you're trying to Vanish 9. So say I do a B-twist, okay? B-twist. Now I'm gonna Vanish 9. I'm coming down like this, but my target is that way. So it's hard to get, this is not a cheat step, you know? So when you do a B-twist round though, okay, B-twist, round, Vanish. Just like a tornado Vanish. And it applies to everything, even G-switch Vanish. I'll put a video of my G-switch Vanish in there. So when you're doing the round kick, you don't even have to do the round kick. The trick is just to spot where the kick would go and start to open as if you did it. You don't have to snap it out, and it doesn't even look like you're doing it. You just have to have that idea in your head so that you have the proper transfer and the proper block. Another thing that applies to, I was doing like some Cheat 7 Hypers Vanishes. I'll put those in there too, if I can find them. But yeah, I'll put some slow-mos at the end here, and you can break those down. Comment if you have any questions on this. I think I covered everything pretty well, so yeah. Thanks, guys.
Oh! Yes! Yo, what? Yes!